And good morning from AM 1430 KRGI 105.5 FM. Community Connection here this morning. It's brought to you by Cornhusker Toyota Honda of Grand Island, Nebraska's only combined Toyota Honda dealership. Here on Wednesdays, we normally talk with the Central District Health Department, and this is kind of a correlation or a partnership, but it's not necessarily someone who's with the health department. But the health department wanted to kind of raise awareness when it comes to mental health and counseling and raising awareness with that. And that's where we welcome in Amanda Dubis, who is a mental health practitioner. She's with Rising Hope Counseling and Consulting. And they kind of at times work hand in hand or a little bit of a partnership when it comes to the Central District Health Department. Good morning. Thanks for coming in, Amanda, and talking with us this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what you do when we say mental health practitioner. Kind of give us a little overview or balloon of what you handle, especially right here in Grand Island.
Yeah. So what it means to be a mental health practitioner is essentially that I do mental health therapy with clients of all ages and of all demographics. Yeah.
So this can kind of be one of those times of the year. I mean, your forte, there's always a time, I guess I should say, but especially extra stress during the holidays. I know you have some notes and things that you want to talk about when it comes to 5 common stressors, maybe especially during this time of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was kind of doing some search and tried to make it as concise as possible. So what I found was this article from New Vance Health on newwise.com, and it listed 5 common holiday stressors. So one of those, or the first, would be pressure from others like family, friends, or social media. And that can look like a lot of different things. So, sometimes spreading yourself too thin, like over committing to different things during the holidays because it can be a really busy time. It can also be like engaging in traditions or events that don't work for you and or your family. Sometimes, we commit to things that we don't want to. The second common stressor is unreasonable expectations. So this can apply to yourself and to others. We sometimes put, really, really high expectations on ourselves to perform or look a certain way, or even expectations of others. Maybe it's expecting other people in our lives to function outside of their own limits. And then the third is dietary concerns or restrictions, which is kind of self-explanatory, but oftentimes during the holidays, we're in settings where food that's provided isn't always in line with our own diets or our own allergy-related needs. And so that can be very stressful, like what to do in those kinds of situations. The fourth stressor is, it's different routines. It's not our norm. So our day-to-day routine looks very different during the holidays, or sometimes can look very different during the holidays. That can be very stressful when we're just thrown off. The fifth stressor and final stressor, or most common stressor, is difficult emotions such as sadness, loneliness, or guilt. So during a season that's so heavily focused on togetherness, feelings related to any kind of loss can often be amplified.
Again, Amanda Dubis joining us here on KRGI this morning. She's a mental health practitioner with Rising Hope Counseling and Consulting, and that is right here in Grand Island at 312 North Elm Street, online too at risinghopene.com. And again, kind of a working committee. Usually, like we said, we talk with someone who's with the Central District Health Department, but Amanda is with Rising Hope Counseling and Consulting, and Mike Bachhoven with Central District Health Department kind of wanted to maybe emphasize this area and what you deal with. Amanda, I guess some kind of follow-up here, help me out. Mm-hmm. But when people are on that teetering point or breaking point, or how do you know, like, maybe I should talk to somebody.
Yeah. So that's actually my first step in managing stress during the holidays and really stress, any time of the year. So I like to use an acronym ruler. So, like a measuring ruler, and that acronym is helpful to remember kind of those steps. So like I said, the first step is recognizing your warning signs of stress. So one of the things I often use is doing kind of like a check-in with your body, because your body will give you warning signs of stress. And also behaviorally, we can often see warning signs too of stress or high emotionality. So some of these warning signs can look like irritability, isolation, getting short with others, feeling overwhelmed easily, racing thoughts, and difficulty focusing. Those, of course, are not, the only warning signs of stress, but just some of them.
Again, talking with Amanda Dubas here this morning on KRGI, mental health practitioner with Rising Hope Counseling and Consulting. Again, their office right here in Grand Island at 312 North Elm Street, Suite 115, 380-5719, their digits. If you would like to visit their website to get more information, risinghopene.com. That's risinghopene.com. Like you mentioned, with Rising Hope Counseling and Consulting, I guess, how many are there of you? To help out with, this need here in Central Nebraska and a part of the Central District Health Department?
Yeah, so within our office, we have 4 providers, 1 licensed psychologist, 2 licensed mental health practitioners, and then I am a licensed clinical social worker. They're all just fancy titles for doing pretty much the same thing, which is providing therapy, outpatient, one-on-one, and to families and groups, sometimes couples.
I hope the listener learned something, because I did too. It's intrigued me because, and kudos to Mike Bachoven at the Central District Health Department for lining this up, because you can kind of, learn something. If you don't mind me asking, where do you go for schooling, like for this, like for you especially?
Yeah, so there's lots of different pathways, to get to where we all are right now. You can go, as a counselor, you can go to school to be a clinical social worker. You can go into clinical psychology, lots of different routes. But essentially, what's required is a minimum of a master's degree in some kind of mental health practice. So what I did was I got my bachelor's at UNL in psychology. I got my master's degree in clinical social work, and also gerontology, which is the study of older adults. So I got both of those master's degrees from UNO in Omaha. And then after that, you do some licensing work. So it's, doing your boards exam and then also supervised visits with clients.
Lots of steps, but I think she's got her bases covered, right?
Right.
Very good. Amanda Dubas joining us. She's a mental health practitioner with Rising Hope Counseling and Consulting right here in Grand Island at 312 North Elm Street, Suite 115. You can visit them online at risinghopene.com. Amanda, thanks for coming in this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Again,
thanks for having me.
That website is risinghopene.com. Community Connection here this morning on KRGI. Brought to you by Cornhusker Toyota Honda of Grand Island, Nebraska's only combined Toyota Honda dealership.